Now, we are moving on to the volume and area of a prism. Volume and area of a prism. So we want to see how what we learn can really be practicalized. Now, number one, calculate the volume and total surface area of a cuboid of length 40 centimeter, breadth 30 centimeter, and height 20 centimeter. So when the volume of a cuboid is taken to be what? Length times breadth times height. So that means we are given the length to be 40 centimeter, the breadth is taken to be 30 centimeter, and the height is taken to be 20 centimeter. So to now look for the volume, it will now be what? You now substitute into the formula. The length is 40 times the breadth is 30 times the height is 20. So 40 times 30 times 20 is what? 24,000 centimeter cube. Since the units are in centimeter, so it will now be what? Centimeter cube for volume. So that is the volume of the cuboid. This was 24,000 centimeter cube. Now, if we want to look for the volume, the total surface area of the cuboid, realize we can do it in two ways. You can use the formula. Since this is a regular prism and we have a formula for it, you can substitute into this formula, like in the table I gave you earlier. 2 into bracket length times breadth plus length times height plus breadth times height. So 2 into bracket, the length is 40 times the breadth is 30 plus 40 times the height, which is 20, plus breadth, that's 30 times the height, which is 20. So 2 into bracket, 40 times 30 will give us 1,200 plus 40 times 20 is 800 plus 30 times 20 is 600. So 1,200 plus 800 plus 600 will give you 2,600. So 2 times 2,600 will give you what? 5,200 centimeter square. The unit of area in square. Alternatively, assuming we don't want to use the formula, we can also say if this is a cuboid, we dismantle the parts. So if the base is taken to be the 1 year, that is for 30 times 40 to be the length and breadth of the base. Then the side, this side and this side, so it's given this one. Then this side and this other side is A and C. Then the top is not taken to be this. So what you do is this. So let's give the measurement. You know the base is what? 40 times 30. So the side that is here is what? 20 times 40 times 20. 40 by 20. Then this other side also is 40 by 20. The top is also 40 by 30. Then the side here, so this should be 30 by 20. So that means you look for the areas of this side A, area of B, area of C, area of D. So that's what we are going to do now. So we are now going to look for the area. So the area of rectangle A is what? Length times breadth. So the length is what? Is 40 times the breadth is taken to be 20. 40 times 20 gives us 800. Then the area of B, so the length is what? 40 by 30. 40 times 30 will give us 1,200. Area of C, 40 by 20. So that is 40 times 20 will give us 800 centimeters square. Area of D, so this 40 by 30. 40 times 30 is from 1,200. The area of E, this is what? 30 by 20. 30 times 20 gives us what? 600 centimeters square. Area of F, so area of this side will be what? 30 by 20, which is what? 600 centimeters square. So we've looked for the area of each of the sides or face of the cuboid. So we now add it. So we said the area is now the summation of the areas of all the faces. We now add every 20 plus 1,200 plus 80 plus 12 plus 600 plus 600. Everything will give us 5,200. So you realize that the same, we got the same answer like the first one we used formula. So it's either you use the formula saying if it's a keyboard, or you decide to dismantle the parts of the keyboard like this to be able to get the total surface area. Now, let's move on to number 2 question. Number 2 says that calculate the total surface area of a cube if its volume is 64 centimeter cube. Calculate the total surface area of a cube if its volume is 64 centimeter cube. So here, you are told to look for the total surface of a cube, surface area. We know that we can look for total surface area of a cube. In the formula I gave you earlier, we said you just say 6 times length square. But now we are not given the length of the cube, but we are only given the volume. And from the volume, if the volume is equal to the length cube, so you can get the length from this. So if you substitute 64 is the volume, is equal to the length is what you are looking for, cube. So to remove this cube, you now find the cube root of this other side, making the cube root of 64 is equal to the length. When you look for the cube root of 64, you get 4. So that means the length is 4 centimeter. So what you are told to do here is to look for the total surface area. So for this one, you can use the formula 6L square to be the total surface area. So I have 6 into bracket. The length is now 4 square. 6 times 4 square is 16. 6 times 16 is 96. And if you don't want to do it this way, you want to use the other method. After looking for the length, you can decide to dismantle the cube like we did for the question 1, that we dismantle the cube. Dismantle it, take the measurement and be looking for the areas of each cube. So you realize to still give you the same answer. Now number 3. The total surface area of a metal box with length 8 cm, breadth 7 cm is 262 cm square. If the box is filled with olive oil, how many liters of olive oil can it hold? If the box is filled with olive oil, how many liters? When you talk about the liters, it means that you are told to look for the volume in liters. So that means we are expected to look for the volume of the liquid that will fill you are told to look for the volume of the liquid that will fill the shape. Now, this is what you are going to do. So you are told to look for the volume. But before you can look for the volume, you realize here in the question, you are given the length, the breadth, and the total surface area of the keyboard. Are you getting me? So since you are given total surface area, it means we still need to get the height. So see, we need to get the height of the keyboard. Before in volume of the keyboard, it should be length times breadth times the height. But before we are only giving the length and the breadth. We are not giving the height. What we are just giving is the total surface area of the keyboard. Since we know the volume formula for the volume of a keyboard the formula for the total surface area of a keyboard to be 2 into bracket length times breadth plus length times height plus breadth times height. What we need to do, let's just substitute the value we are giving here into the formula. So total surface area is 262 is equal to 2 into bracket. The length is given to us to be 8 times the breadth 7 plus the length is 8 times the height, we don't know the value of the height, plus the breadth is 7 times the height, we don't know the value of the height. So that means we'll be having 262 is equal to 2 into bracket 8 times 7 is 56 plus 8h plus 7h will give us 15h. So if you open the bracket here, so 262 is equal to 2 times 56 is 112 plus 2 times 15 will give us 30h. So if we bring this 212 to this side, So we having 262 minus 212 is equal to 30 each. So 262 minus 212 will give us 150 is equal to 30 each. So divide both sides by 30. So the height is now 5 centimeter. It means that the height of the bulb is 5 centimeter. From there, we can look for the volume. So since the unit that we are giving here is centimeter, so that means we are giving the length, the breadth, we now substitute the height. Volume of the keyboard is length times breadth times height. The length is 8 times the breadth is 7 times the height is now 5, which is so 280 centimeter cube. And the question says that we should look how many liters. The question says that how many liters can the olive oil hold. So that means that we look for the volume in terms of liters. Since 1000 centimeter cube is equal to 1 liter, 280 centimeter cube will give us what? That's what we are looking for. Write this one as a ratio, then 1 over x also as a ratio. 1 over 1000 over 280 is equal to 1 over x. Cross multiply. When x is representing the volume in liters, cross multiply. X times 1000 give us 1000x is equal to 1 times 280 will give us 280. So to get x, divide both sides by 1000. 280 divided by 1000 gives us 0.28 liters. So it means that 0.28 liters of olive oil will fill the metal box. Now, let's look at this and another question, number 4. So we are having this question number 4. We said a rectangular mold of length 45 centimeter, breadth 35 centimeter, and height 25 centimeter is used to make a plastic box. Open at both ends. What is the surface area of the plastic box if the thickness of the plastic is negligible? Look at it. Let's read it again. A rectangular mold. Do you know a mold? A mold is just like an iron block that is used to make something. So now if the iron mold, let's say they want to use make a plastic now container. So if you now cover the plastic container with, like, okay, for example, like the paper mache you normally do in fine art, they will tell you to get a container, then you mold it around it. So now that mold is just like that. That plastic you are using to mold your paper mache is just like this, mold you are talking about. But it's only that this one is in form of a rectangle. So the rectangular mold of length 45 centimeter, breadth 35 centimeter, and height 25 centimeter is used to make a plastic box. Open and both ends. It means that the plastic box will not have top. The top will be cut off, the bottom will be cut off. So what it will have now is just the side. So now, what is the surface area of the plastic box if the thickness of the box is negligible? So here, you are given the length of the box to be 45, the breadth to be 35, and the height is 25. So you are now told to you look for the plastic box they can make if it's going to be open about 10. First of all, let us dismantle these rectangular blocks. Like the bottom will be this one, the side here will be this side, the side here will be this side and this side will be this and this. Then the top is now this place. Since the bottom and the top are going to be open, so what we need to look for here is the area of this place, this, and this. Now, if you now have the area of A, you realize that the length here is 45, breadth is 35, the height is 25. So the area of A would be 45 times 25. That's the area of which is 1125. The area of B, this B, we are having 45 times 25 also. It will give us 1125. The area of C, now you are going to use this 35 times 25. which give you 685 centimeters square. The area of D, it will give you, that means 35 times 25, which will give us what? 875 square. So you now add areas together. When you add them together, you now realize you get 4,000 centimeters square. You realize that since it's an we are not adding these two fields, bottom and the top, because this is an open box, open at both ends. So that means in this one and this one will not be there. You will just add the areas of the sides. So for your work practice, number one, calculate the volume and total surface area of the keyboard. So this is the keyboard. So the length is 6 centimeter, breadth is 6 centimeter, and the height is 10 centimeter. Number two, find the volume and total surface area of a cube of side 9 centimeter. So you should be able to do it. Number three, a metal container in the form of a keyboard measures 75 centimeter by 50 centimeter by 40 centimeter. How many liters of water can it hold? How many liters of water can it hold? So it means that you look for the volume, you now express it in liters. Number four, a tank in the form of a keyboard having a volume of 120 liters has a length of 40 centimeter and breadth 30 centimeter. Calculate the one, height of the tank, two, total surface area of the tank. Then number five, a rectangular mechanic mold of length 50 centimeter, breadth 40 centimeter, and volume 40,000 centimeter cube is used to make a plastic box of negligible thickness, open at the top. Calculate the surface area of the plastic box. Make sure you practice this, and if you want me to help you monitor your progress in this subject, you can contact me on my WhatsApp number, which is 08068309191. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment on this video. Thank you.